knelt on the cold kitchen floor. Her hands were red and raw, dirty water soaked through her torn dress. The fire had gone out again. Smoke filled the room. She coughed and wiped her eyes. "Anna!" Her stepmother's voice cut through the air like a blade. Clara stood in the doorway. Her face was twisted with disgust. "Look at this mess. You are hopeless." Anna tried to speak. I was just—" The words stuck in her throat. They always did when she was scared. Her stutter made everything worse. "Spit it out, girl," Clara snapped. Anna's stepsisters giggled behind their mother. Sarah pointed at Anna's dirty face. "She looks like a pig rolling in mud." Emily laughed louder. "Even pigs are cleaner than her." Anna's cheeks burned with shame. She grabbed a cloth and scrubbed harder at the floor. "You will never be anything," Clara said coldly. "No man would want a stuttering fool like you." Anna's father had been kind once, but he was gone now, dead for 3 years. Clara ruled this house with an iron fist. Every day brought new cruelty. Every task was meant to break her spirit. Anna slept in the tiny servant's room. She ate scraps. She wore hand-me-down rags. But today would be different. Clara's eyes gleamed with something evil. She had news. Bad news. "I have found you a husband," Clara announced. Anna dropped her cloth. Her heart stopped. "The Duke of Ashford needs a bride," Clara continued. "He asked for someone plain, someone who knows her place." The stepsisters gasped. Then they started laughing again. "Poor Anna," Sarah smirked. "Married to a monster." "Everyone knows the Duke is cold as ice," Emily added. "He will make her life miserable." Anna felt the world spinning around her. Marriage meant leaving this house. But it also meant facing new horrors. She had heard the stories about Duke Edwin. People whispered that he was cruel, that he had no heart, that his castle was like a prison. "Please," Anna whispered. "What you want does not matter," Clara said sharply. "You will marry him next month. Maybe he can beat some sense into you." Anna ran to her tiny room. She threw herself on her thin mattress and cried. Through her small window she could see the distant hills. Somewhere out there was her future, dark and frightening. She touched her mother's old locket, the only thing Clara had not taken from her. "Help me, Mama," she whispered. "I don't know how to be strong." But deep in her heart, something flickered. A tiny spark of hope that refused to die. Maybe, just maybe, her story was not over yet. Duke Edwin stood at his castle window. The morning mist covered his lands like a gray blanket. His butler, Thomas, knocked softly. "Your Grace, the marriage papers have arrived." Edwin turned from the window. He was tall and broad-shouldered. His dark hair was always perfectly neat. His clothes were fine but simple. People in the village feared him. They thought he was made of stone, cold, heartless. They were wrong. Edwin had loved once. His parents, his young sister, all taken by fever when he was barely 20. Now he was 30, alone in this big castle, carrying the weight of duty on his shoulders. "Tell me about her," Edwin said quietly. Thomas opened the papers. "Lady Anna, 17 years old, lives with her step-family. They say she is plain." Edwin nodded. Good. He was tired of beautiful women who only wanted his title, his money, his power. What else? "She works hard, knows the kitchen, keeps house. Very quiet, they say." "Quiet is good," Edwin said. "I've had enough of chattering nobles." Thomas looked confused. "Your Grace, why choose her? You could have anyone. A princess. A great beauty." Edwin walked back to the window. "I want a real person, Thomas. Someone who knows what work means, what struggle feels like." "But sir, I am tired of masks," Edwin said firmly. "I want honesty, truth, a partner, not a decoration." Thomas bowed and left. Edwin stayed at the window. He thought about his empty halls, his silent dinners, his cold bed. Maybe this girl could bring warmth back to his life. Maybe she could fill the spaces that grief had carved in his heart. He had heard whispers about her step-family, how they treated her badly, how they made her work like a servant. That made his jaw tight with anger. No one should be treated that way, especially not someone who would be his wife. "I will protect her," he promised himself. "I will give her the respect she has never known." 3 weeks later, his carriage rode toward Anna's house. Edwin's heart beat faster with each mile. He was not looking for love. Love was dangerous. Love brought pain when it was lost. But kindness he could give. Safety, respect, a chance for her to grow. "Let her be brave," he whispered to the wind. "Let her trust me enough to try." The carriage wheels turned. His future waited ahead. Anna stood in the great hall. Her best dress was still shabby. Her hands shook as she smoothed the worn fabric. Clara had scrubbed her face until it was red, pinched her cheeks to give them color, pulled her hair back so tight it hurt. "Remember," Clara hissed in her ear, "do not embarrass us. Keep your mouth shut. Try not to stutter like a fool." The big doors opened. Heavy footsteps echoed across the stone floor. Anna kept her eyes down. She could see expensive black boots, the hem of a fine coat. "Lady Anna," a deep voice said. She looked up slowly. Her breath caught. The Duke was not a monster. He was handsome, in a quiet, serious way. His dark eyes were not cruel. They seemed calm. "Your Grace," she whispered. Then she tried to curtsy. Her legs wobbled. He stepped forward quickly. Steady hands caught her arms. "Easy," he said gently. "No need for such formality." Anna stared at him. No man had ever spoken to her with such respect. "Thank you," she stammered. He did not laugh at her stutter. He just nodded. "Shall we sit?" he asked. "I would like to talk with you." Dinner was served in the dining room. Anna sat carefully in her chair. She was terrified of making a mistake. The food was finer than anything she had ever seen. Silver plates, crystal glasses, rich sauces and tender meat. She reached for her water glass. Her nervous hand knocked it over. Wine spilled across the white tablecloth like blood. Anna gasped. "Oh no, I'm so sorry." She waited for the shouting, the harsh words, the punishment. Instead, Duke Edwin calmly picked up his napkin. He dabbed at the spill. "It is only wine," he said with a small smile. "The cloth will wash clean." Anna blinked at him. You're not angry." "Why would I be angry? Accidents happen to everyone." She had never heard those words before. In Clara's house, every mistake brought punishment. "Tell me about yourself," the Duke said, as servants brought new glasses. There's not much to tell," Anna whispered. "I doubt that. What do you enjoy doing?" Anna thought carefully. I like working in the garden. Plants grow better when you talk to them." Edwin leaned forward. "You talk to plants?" Anna's face went red. "I know it sounds silly." "Not silly at all. I talk to my horse. He is an excellent listener." Anna looked up in surprise. Was he joking with her? "What else?" he asked. "I can cook. Simple food. And I like to read when there are books." "What kind of stories do you enjoy?" "Adventures," Anna said, forgetting to be nervous. "Stories about brave people who overcome impossible things." Edwin smiled. "I have a library full of such stories. You would be welcome to read them all." Anna's heart jumped. A whole library? All for her to read? Would you really let me?" she asked. "It would be my pleasure." The evening passed quickly. Edwin asked gentle questions. He listened to her answers like they mattered. When it was time to leave, he walked her to the door. "Thank you for coming," he said formally. But his eyes were warm. "Thank you for being kind," Anna replied. "Kindness should not be rare," he said seriously. "You deserve much more of it." Anna walked home in a daze. Her stepfamily peppered her with questions. "Was he horrible?" Sarah demanded. "Did he shout at you?" Emily added. Anna shook her head. "He was nice," Clara snorted. "Nice? Men are never nice without reason. He is planning something cruel." But Anna did not believe that anymore. She had seen something real in the Duke's eyes. Something that looked like, oh. That night, she lay in her small bed and touched her mother's locket. "Maybe," she whispered to the darkness. "Maybe this will not be a prison after all." 2 weeks later, Anna stood in the castle courtyard. Her few belongings fit in one small bag. The castle was bigger than she had imagined. Stone walls reached toward the clouds. Windows sparkled like jewels in the morning sun. "Welcome home," Duke Edwin said beside her. Home. Anna had never had a real home before. Thomas the butler bowed politely. "Your rooms are ready, my lady." My lady. Anna was not used to titles. She was used to being called girl or you there. Her bedroom made her gasp. It was bigger than the entire kitchen at Clara's house. A real bed with soft blankets. A fireplace. A window that looked out over garden. "Is this really mine?" she asked. "Everything here is yours now," Edwin said. "You are mistress of this house." Anna sat carefully on the bed. The mattress was soft as clouds. "I don't know how to be a lady," she admitted. "Then we will learn together," Edwin said. "I am still learning how to be a good lord." The first few days were strange. Servants bowed when they saw her. They called her Your Grace and my lady. Anna tried to help in the kitchen. The cook, Mrs. Peters, looked shocked. "Oh no, my lady, you must not work here." "But I like cooking," Anna said. "It makes me happy." Mrs. Peters glanced around nervously. "What? Perhaps you could help me plan the menus? Anna's face lit up. Really? I know which herbs help sick stomachs, and how to make bread last longer. Soon Anna was spending mornings with Mrs. Peters. She learned new recipes. She taught the kitchen maids her grandmother's old remedies. Word spread through the castle. The new Duchess was different. She cared about the servants. She listened to their problems. When little Mary, the scullery maid, got sick, Anna made her special tea. She sat by Mary's bed and read her stories. "You are an angel," Mary whispered. Anna blushed. "I just know what it feels like to be alone." Afternoons, Edwin taught her to ride. Anna was terrified of the big horses at first. "They can sense your fear," Edwin explained patiently. "But they can also sense your kindness." He helped her onto a gentle mare named Buttercup. His hands were steady and warm as he lifted her up. "I've got you," he said. "I will not let you fall." Anna believed him. For the first time in her life, she felt truly safe. Slowly, carefully, Buttercup walked around the courtyard. Edwin walked beside them, one hand on the reins. "You are doing wonderfully," he encouraged. Anna's fear melted away. She began to smile. Then laughed. "I'm really doing it," she called out. Edwin grinned up at her. "You are braver than you know." Evenings were Anna's favorite time. She and Edwin would sit in his library. She read aloud while he worked on papers. Her stutter was almost gone now. Edwin never rushed her, never made her feel foolish. "Your voice is lovely," he told her one night. "It makes even old stories sound new." Anna glowed at the praise. She was starting to stand taller. Speak louder, smile more often. 3 months passed, like a dream. Anna learned to manage the household. She helped settle disputes between servants. She organized the castle's herb garden. People in the village began to seek her out. They brought sick children for her teas. They asked advice about their own gardens. "The Duchess has magic hands," they whispered. "Everything she touches grows stronger." Anna did not have magic. She just had patience, love, the desire to help others heal. But deep in her heart, something else was growing too. Every time Edwin smiled at her, her pulse quickened. When his hand brushed hers during their evening talks, warmth spread through her body. She was falling in love with her husband. And sometimes, when she caught him watching her with those gentle dark eyes, she wondered if maybe, just maybe, he was falling too. Spring came to the castle grounds. Anna's herb garden exploded with color and life. She knelt among the mint and chamomile, her hands deep in rich earth. The morning sun warmed her back. "Your Grace," a nervous voice called. Anna looked up. A young woman stood at the garden gate. She held a crying baby. "Please," the woman said. "My son has been sick for days. The village doctor cannot help him. They say you have healing knowledge." Anna wiped her hands on her apron. "Bring him here. Let me see." The baby was burning with fever. His tiny face was red and pinched with pain. Anna felt his forehead, listened to his breathing. "It is a chest sickness," she said gently, "but we can help him." She led the mother to her herb room. Shelves lined the walls, filled with dried plants and glass bottles. Anna mixed a careful blend. Elderflower for fever. Thyme in the afternoons for the chest. A touch of honey to make it sweet. "Give him small sips every hour," she instructed. "Keep him warm and let him rest. Come back tomorrow." The next day, the mother returned with a healthy, smiling baby. "He is completely well," she cried. "You saved him." Word spread quickly. More people came seeking Anna's help. She treated headaches and stomach pains. She made salves for cuts and burns. Edwin watched from his study window as a line of villagers waited to see his wife. "She is remarkable," he told Thomas. "Indeed, Your Grace. The people love her already." Anna's confidence grew with each person she helped. She walked with her head high now. Her stutter was completely gone. She also began managing more of the castle's affairs. When the cook complained about spoiled grain, Anna organized a new storage system. When 2 footmen got in a fight, Anna listened to both sides. She helped them work out their differences. "You have a gift for leadership," Edwin told her one evening. They were walking through the castle gardens. Moonlight made everything silver and magical. "I never thought I could lead anyone," Anna admitted. "At my stepmother's house I could barely speak up for myself." "You are not the same person you were then," Edwin said softly. Anna stopped walking. She looked at him in the pale light. "You did this," she said. "You showed me I was worth something." Edwin's expression grew serious. "You were always worth everything, Anna. I just gave you space to see it yourself." They stood close together in the garden. Anna's heart pounded. "Edwin," she whispered. "Yes, I want to thank you. For everything. For saving me." He reached up and touched her cheek gently. You saved yourself. You just needed someone to believe in you first. Anna leaned into his touch, her eyes closed. For a moment, she thought he might kiss her. She hoped he would. But Edwin stepped back. We should go inside. The night air is cold. Anna felt disappointment, but she followed him. Their friendship was precious. She would not risk it by wanting more. But oh, how she wanted more. Inside her chest, love burned like a bright flame, growing stronger every day. She was no longer the broken girl from Clara's kitchen. She was becoming a woman of strength and purpose. And maybe, someday, she would be brave enough to tell Edwin how she truly felt. A storm raged outside the castle walls. Rain lashed the windows. Thunder shook the stones. Anna sat in the library, trying to read, but her mind kept wandering to Edwin. He had been quiet at dinner, distant. Something was troubling him. Lightning flashed, filling the room with white light. Anna gasped and dropped her book. Are you afraid of storms? Anna turned. Edwin stood in the doorway. His hair was damp as if he had been walking in the rain. A little, Anna admitted. The thunder sounds angry. Edwin came and sat beside her on the sofa. When I was small, my sister was terrified of storms. I used to tell her stories to distract her. Anna smiled. What kind of stories? Adventures, dragons and knights, brave princesses who saved kingdoms. You had a sister? Edwin's face grew sad. Catherine. She was 3 years younger than me. Bright as sunshine, always laughing. Anna heard the past tense. Her heart clenched. What happened to her? Fever took her. And my parents. All in the same winter. Edwin stared into the fire. I was 20. Suddenly I was Duke. Suddenly I was alone. Anna reached out without thinking. She covered his hand with hers. I am so sorry, she whispered. Edwin looked down at their joined hands. I swore I would never care that deeply again. Love hurts too much when you lose it. But love also heals, Anna said softly. My mother died when I was 10. The grief almost broke me. But remembering her love made me strong enough to survive Clara's cruelty. Edwin turned his hand, palm up. His fingers closed around hers. Tell me about her, your mother. Anna smiled through sudden tears. She was beautiful, not in looks, but in spirit. She saw good in everyone, even people who hurt her. Like you do, she taught me to be kind, even when the world is not kind back. Thunder crashed overhead. Anna flinched closer to Edwin. Tell me more, he said gently. She loved to sing while she worked. Silly songs about flowers and birds. She made everything feel bright, even on dark days. What happened to her? Sickness. It came fast and took her quickly. Anna's voice grew quiet. My father changed after she died. He became cold, distant. When he married Clara 2 years later, it was like he forgot I existed. Edwin's thumb traced across her knuckles. You have been alone for so long. So have you. They sat in comfortable silence. The storm still raged, but it felt less frightening now. Anna, Edwin said suddenly. Yes, I need to tell you something. This marriage. I did not arrange it for duty alone. Anna's heart stopped. What do you mean? Edwin turned to face her fully. His dark eyes were intense. I was tired of being alone, but I was also afraid. Afraid to risk my heart again. And now I think I have been a fool. His hand cupped her cheek. You have brought light back into my life. Laughter. Purpose. Anna's breath caught. Edwin, I know this marriage was forced on you. I know you did not choose me. But I pray that maybe you could learn to care for me. Even a little. Anna almost laughed. If only you knew the truth. I do care for you, she whispered. More than I should. More than is wise. Edwin's eyes widened. Anna, I love you, she said in a rush. I have loved you for months. I was afraid to say it because I thought you could never love someone like me. Someone like you? Edwin's voice was fierce. Anna, you are the strongest, kindest, and most beautiful woman I have ever known. I am not beautiful. You are beautiful here. He touched her heart, and here, he touched her mind. Beauty fades, Anna. But a good heart lasts forever. Lightning flashed again. In its white light, Edwin leaned forward. Their lips met softly, gently, like a question being asked. Anna answered by kissing him back. When they broke apart, both were breathing hard. I love you too, Edwin whispered against her lips. I have loved you since the day you spilled wine on my table and apologized like it was the end of the world. Anna laughed, tears streaming down her cheeks. Really? Really, you were so genuine, so real. I knew in that moment that you would change my life. The storm began to quiet outside. Inside, Two hearts had finally found their home. Are we really going to be happy? Anna asked wonderingly. We are going to try, Edwin promised. Every single day. He kissed her again, deeper this time. Anna felt herself melting into his arms. She was no longer afraid of storms. Not when Edwin was there to keep her safe. Love had found them both, at last. Next, Anna was teaching young Mary to read when Thomas burst into the library. Your Grace, he panted. Urgent news from the village. Anna set down the book. What is wrong? Riders have come from your old home. Your stepmother spreads poison through the town. She tells lies about your birth. Anna's blood turned cold. What kind of lies? Edwin strode into the room. His face was dark as a thundercloud. Clara claims you are not your father's true daughter, he said grimly. She says you are baseborn, that our marriage is invalid. The book fell from Anna's numb fingers. That cannot be true. She has papers, Thomas continued. Documents that claim to prove her words. Anna sank into a chair. Her legs would not hold her. If it is true, she whispered. If I really am not noble-born, then I have no right to be your wife. Edwin knelt beside her chair. He took her hands firmly. I do not care about your birth, he said fiercely. You are my wife. You are my duchess. Nothing changes that. But Anna shook her head. The law cares, Edwin. If I am not legitimate, then our marriage could be annulled. You could lose your standing. Your land. Word spread quickly through the castle and village. Some people whispered behind their hands. Others looked at Anna with pity. Lord Blackwood, Edwin's neighbor, arrived with a group of other nobles. This is a serious matter, Blackwood said coldly. If the Duchess is truly baseborn, then this marriage is a farce. My marriage is no one's concern but mine, Edwin replied. The law says otherwise. Blackwood sneered. A duke cannot marry a bastard. It goes against everything we stand for. Anna felt the old shame creeping back. The voice in her head whispered she was worthless. Unwanted. A mistake. That night, she stood on her balcony and stared at the stars. Behind her, the bedroom door opened. Edwin's footsteps crossed the stone floor. Come inside, he said gently. You will catch a cold. Maybe I should leave, Anna said without turning around. Edwin's hands settled on her shoulders. What? If I go away, this scandal dies. You can find a proper wife. Someone who will not bring you shame. Edwin spun her around to face him. His eyes blazed with emotion. Do you hear yourself? You want to run away? I want to protect you, Anna said desperately. I love you too much to watch you lose everything because of me. You are everything, Edwin said fiercely. Without you, I have nothing worth keeping. Tears spilled down Anna's cheeks. But what if it is true? What if I really am? Then you are a bastard who saved my life, Edwin interrupted. A bastard who brought joy back to this castle. A bastard who heals the sick and feeds the hungry. I would rather have a bastard with your heart than a princess with stone in her chest. Anna stared at him. You really mean that? With every breath in my body. The next morning brought more shocking news. Old Thomas, the village record keeper, arrived at dawn. His weathered hands shook as he unrolled ancient documents. Your Grace, he said to Anna, I have searched the old records. The truth is not what your stepmother claims. Anna's heart pounded. What truth? Thomas spread the papers on Edwin's desk. These are your parents' true marriage papers. And this is your birth record. Anna leaned forward. The writing was faded, but clear. Your father married your mother in secret, Thomas explained. 2 years before he wed Clara. Your mother was a duke's daughter. Your birth is completely legitimate. The room spun around Anna. What? More than that, Thomas continued. When your father died, he left everything to you. Not to Clara. She has been stealing your inheritance for 7 years. Edwin grabbed the papers. This changes everything. Clara forged documents to hide the truth, Thomas said grimly. She wanted to keep your father's wealth. She made you a servant in your own home. Anna sank into a chair. All these years, she was not the unwanted stepchild. She was the rightful heir. She knew, Anna whispered. Clara knew who I really was. She made me suffer on purpose. Rage filled Edwin's face. She will pay for what she has done to you. But Anna felt something else rising in her chest. Not anger, not pain, strength. She stood up slowly. Her spine was steel. Her voice was steady. No, she said quietly. I will deal with Clara myself. Edwin looked surprised. Anna, for 7 years, she made me feel small, worthless, ashamed. Anna's eyes blazed. It is time she learned who I really am. The broken girl from Clara's kitchen was gone forever. In her place stood a duchess. a woman who had found her power at last. On me, Clara arrived at the castle with her daughters and a crowd of supporters. She wore her finest dress and a cruel smile. She expected to find Anna cowering, broken, ready to surrender. Instead, Anna waited in the great hall. She wore a gown of deep blue silk. Her hair was crowned with jewels. She looked every inch a duchess. Edwin stood beside her. Behind them, the castle's entire staff had gathered. Thomas held the true documents in his weathered hands. Well, well, Clara sneered as she entered. Still playing dress-up, I see. Anna did not flinch. Her voice was calm and clear. Hello, Clara. Thank you for coming. We have much to discuss. There is nothing to discuss, Clara spat. You are a bastard. A fraud. These people deserve to know the truth. Yes, Anna agreed. They do. She nodded to Thomas. He unrolled the ancient papers. These are the true records, Anna announced. My parents' marriage certificate, my legitimate birth papers, and my father's will. Clara's face went white. Those are forgeries. No, Anna said steadily. Your documents were the forgeries. You stole my inheritance. You made me a servant in my own home. You lied for 7 years. The crowd murmured in shock. Clara's supporters began to back away. You have no proof, Clara shrieked. Thomas stepped forward. I have your confession, madam. Written in your own hand, found hidden in your private papers. He held up another document. Clara had written out her entire plan. How she forged papers. How she hid the truth about Anna's birth. Clara lunged forward, trying to grab the confession. Give me that. Anna caught her stepmother's wrist. Her grip was firm and unbreakable. You will not touch those papers, Anna said quietly. Just like you will never touch me again. For the first time, Clara looked truly afraid. Anna, please, I raised you. You tortured me, Anna corrected. You tried to break my spirit. You wanted me to believe I was worthless. Anna released Clara's wrist and stepped back. She stood tall and proud. But you failed, Anna continued. I found my strength. I found my worth. I found love. She looked around the room at all the faces watching her. For 7 years, I let shame and fear control my life, Anna said loudly. I believed the lies. I accepted the cruelty. I thought I deserved it. Her voice grew stronger, more confident. But I was wrong. No one deserves to be treated like nothing. No one should have to earn basic kindness. We all have value. We all have worth. The crowd began to nod. Many were crying. Clara tried to steal more than my money, Anna said. She tried to steal my soul, but souls cannot be stolen. They can only be surrendered. And I refused to surrender mine. Edwin stepped forward. Pride shone in his eyes. Clara Morrison, he announced formally. You are guilty of fraud, theft, and cruelty beyond measure. You will return every coin you stole. You will leave this county and never return. Clara's daughters huddled behind their mother. They looked terrified. What about Sarah and Emily? Someone called out. Anna looked at her stepsisters. They had tormented her for years, laughed at her pain, called her ugly and worthless. She could have them punished too, banished, left with nothing. Instead, Anna surprised everyone. Sarah and Emily will be given a choice, she said calmly. They can come with their mother and face the world alone, or they can stay here and learn to be better people. The stepsisters stared at her in shock. You would help us? Sarah whispered. After everything we did to you, I do not want revenge, Anna said simply. I want healing, for all of us. Emily began to cry. We were so cruel to you. You were taught to be cruel, Anna replied. But you can choose to be different now. Clara's face twisted with fury. You think you have won? You think this makes you special? Anna smiled. Not a bitter smile. A genuinely happy one. No, Clara. This does not make me special. I was always special. I just finally learned to see it. Guards escorted Clara from the castle. She screamed threats and curses until her voice faded in the distance. Sarah and Emily chose to stay. Anna helped them find new lives as teachers in the village school. That night, Anna stood in her garden among the herbs and flowers. Edwin found her there, peaceful and content. How do you feel? He asked. Anna considered the question seriously. Free, she said finally. For the first time in my life, I feel completely free. Edwin pulled her into his arms. You were magnificent today. So strong, so graceful. I learned from the best teacher, Anna said, looking up at him. Who? You. You taught me that strength is not about fighting back. It is about knowing your own worth. Edwin kissed her softly. I love you, Duchess Anna. All of you. Your past, your present, and all of our future. Anna kissed him back with her whole heart. She was no longer the broken girl from Clara's kitchen. She was no longer afraid. She was exactly who she was meant to be. 6 months later, the castle great hall buzzed with excitement. Nobles from across the kingdom had come for a grand celebration. Anna stood before her mirror, adjusting her crown. It was made of silver and pearls. Simple, but elegant. "You look beautiful, Your Grace," Mary said, fastening Anna's necklace. Anna smiled at her reflection. The woman in the mirror was confident and poised, nothing like the frightened girl who had once scrubbed floors. "Are you ready?" Edwin asked from the doorway. He wore his finest clothes, dark blue velvet with gold trim, and looked every inch a duke. "Ready," Anna said, taking his offered arm. They walked together toward the great hall. Music and laughter echoed through the corridor. "Nervous?" Edwin asked. "No," Anna realized with surprise. "I am not nervous anymore." The great hall was packed with people, lords and ladies in their finest clothes, merchants and villagers in their Sunday best. When Anna entered, a hush fell over the crowd. Then applause erupted. "All hail Duchess Anna!" someone shouted. "The healing Duchess," called another voice. Anna had earned these titles through her own actions. She ran clinics for the poor. She organized food for hungry families. She settled disputes with wisdom and fairness. Lord Blackwood approached them. The same man who had questioned Anna's legitimacy months before. He bowed deeply. "Your Grace, I owe you an apology." Anna inclined her head graciously. "What for, my lord? I judged you by your birth instead of your character. That was wrong of me." "We all make mistakes," Anna said kindly. "What matters is learning from them." Blackwood smiled. "My daughter has been asking to visit your herb garden. She wants to learn healing arts. She is welcome anytime." Anna replied. "Knowledge should be shared, not hoarded." As the evening progressed, person after person approached Anna. They thanked her for her help. They shared stories of how she had touched their lives. Mrs. Henderson, whose baby Anna had saved, brought her healthy toddler to show his progress. Young Peter, whom Anna had taught to read, recited a poem he had written in her honor. The village women presented Anna with a quilt they had sewn together. Each square told a story of her kindness. "You have given us so much," said Martha, the baker's wife. "We wanted to give something back." Anna's eyes filled with tears. Happy tears this time. "You have given me everything," she said. "You believed in me when I could not believe in myself." Edwin watched his wife with pride and amazement. She moved through the crowd with natural grace. She remembered everyone's names. She asked about their families and troubles. "She is remarkable," Thomas murmured beside him. "Yes," Edwin agreed. "She has become everything I hoped, and more than I dared dream." Near midnight, Edwin called for attention. The crowd quieted. "My friends," he began. "We gather tonight to celebrate many things. Peace between our lands, friendship among our people. But most of all, we celebrate the woman who made these things possible." He turned to Anna with love shining in his eyes. 7 months ago, I married a stranger. I hoped for companionship, perhaps friendship. I never expected to find my other half. Anna's heart swelled with happiness. "Anna came to me, broken," Edwin continued, "told she was worthless, made to believe she was nothing, but she was never nothing. She was a diamond buried under lies and cruelty." The crowd murmured agreement. "She saved more than my loneliness," Edwin said. "She saved my ability to love, to trust, to hope for the future." He took Anna's hands in his. "You asked me once if we would really be happy," he said softly. "I can answer that now. Yes, we will be happy. Because happiness is not something that happens to us. It is something we choose to build together." Edwin kissed Anna's hands. Then he kissed her lips, as the crowd cheered. "I love you, wife," he whispered against her ear. "I love you too, husband," she whispered back. Later, as the last guest departed, Anna and Edwin walked through their garden. Moonlight made everything silver and magical. "Do you ever think about the girl you used to be?" Edwin asked. Anna considered this. "Sometimes, but not with sadness anymore. She was part of my journey. Without her pain, I might never have learned to appreciate joy." "Do you forgive them? Clara and her daughters?" Anna nodded. "Forgiveness is not for them. It is for me. Carrying anger would only poison my own heart." They stopped beside Anna's herb garden. The plants rustled gently in the night breeze. "What do you want to do next?" Edwin asked. "Next? We have our whole lives ahead of us." "What dreams do you want to chase?" Anna smiled. "I want to open a school, not just for noble children, but for everyone, rich and poor together." Edwin grinned. "That sounds perfect. What else?" "I want to travel, see other kingdoms, learn new healing methods. We will do all of that and more. Anna leaned against Edwin's chest, his arms wrapped around her protectively. Thank you, she said softly. For what now? For seeing me when I was invisible. For loving me when I was unlovable. For believing I could be more than I was. Edwin turned her in his arms. His expression was serious. Anna, listen to me. You were never invisible. You were never unlovable. You were always worthy of every good thing. I did not make you special. I just helped you see what was already there. Anna stood on her tiptoes and kissed him. We saved each other, she said against his lips. Yes, Edwin agreed. We did. Above them, stars scattered across the dark sky like scattered diamonds. Anna was no longer afraid of the dark. She knew that dawn always came, and her dawn had arrived at last. Ding! 5 years had passed since Anna's triumph over Clara. The castle rang with new sounds now. Children's laughter echoed through the halls. Little feet ran across marble floors. Young voices called out in play. Anna sat in the garden, watching her 3-year-old daughter chase butterflies. Little Catherine had Edwin's dark hair and Anna's gentle eyes. Mama, look! Catherine pointed at a yellow butterfly perched on a rose. Beautiful, sweetheart, Anna said, making room on the garden bench. Catherine climbed up beside her mother. She leaned against Anna's growing belly, where her baby brother would arrive soon. Tell me the story, Mama, Catherine requested. Anna smiled. This was their daily ritual. Which story? The sad girl's story. The one that ends happy. Anna settled her daughter more comfortably against her side. Once upon a time, Anna began, there was a girl who thought she was nothing special. As she told the familiar tale, Anna's hands worked automatically in the herb garden. Even pregnant, she could not stop healing. It was part of her nature. Her school had opened 2 years ago. Noble children and peasant children learned together. They studied reading and writing, but also kindness and respect. Sarah and Emily both taught there now. They had become completely different people. Kind, patient, caring. The girl was very sad. Anna continued the story. She did not know she was actually a princess inside. But then the prince found her. Catherine added excitedly. Yes, but more importantly, she found herself. Edwin appeared in the garden doorway. He still took Anna's breath away. 5 years of happiness had only made him more handsome. How are my girls today? He asked, settling on Anna's other side. Catherine launched herself into her father's arms. Papa, Mama is telling the story. My favorite story, Edwin said, kissing the top of Catherine's head. A young woman approached through the garden path. Anna smiled when she recognized her. Mary, how did the examination go? Mary had grown from a scared scullery maid into Anna's apprentice healer. Today she had taken her final tests. I passed, Mary announced proudly. I am officially a certified healer. Anna clapped her hands. Wonderful. The village of Millbrook is lucky to have you. Mary would be leaving soon to start her own healing practice. Anna was proud, but sad to see her go. I learned from the best, Mary said gratefully. As evening fell, the family gathered in the library. Edwin read adventure stories while Anna worked on embroidery. Catherine played quietly with her doll. Papa, Catherine said suddenly. Will I be a duchess someday? Edwin and Anna exchanged glances. If you want to be, Anna said carefully. But you can be anything you choose. A healer, a teacher, an explorer. The important thing is to be kind and help others. Like you do, Mama. Like we all should do, sweetheart. Catherine nodded seriously. Then she returned to making her dolls have tea parties. Later, after Catherine was tucked into bed, Anna and Edwin sat by their fireplace. Do you ever regret it? Anna asked suddenly. Regret what? Marrying the strange girl instead of a proper princess. Edwin set down his book. Anna, after 5 years, you still ask me this. Anna laughed. Old habits. Edwin moved to kneel beside her chair. He placed his hands on her rounded belly. Let me be very clear, he said seriously. You are the love of my life, the mother of my children, the other half of my soul. I would choose you again in every lifetime. Baby Edmund kicked strongly, as if agreeing with his father. He is going to be a fighter, Anna observed. With you as his mother, how could he not be strong? Anna leaned forward and kissed Edwin softly. I love you. I love you more. Impossible. They settled together on the sofa. Anna's head on Edwin's shoulder. His hand was protective over their unborn child. What do you want to teach him? Edwin asked. Our son? Anna thought carefully. I want to teach him that everyone has value. That kindness is strength, not weakness. That love multiplies when you share it. And I want to teach him to see people's hearts, not their titles. Edwin added. He will be a good man, Anna said confidently. With you guiding him, how could he not be? Outside, snow began to fall. The first snow of winter. But inside the castle, everything was warm and bright. Anna thought back to that terrified girl who had once scrubbed floors and accepted cruelty as normal. That girl seemed like a stranger now. A character from someone else's story. Anna had learned the most important truth of all. She had always been worthy of love. She had always deserved respect and kindness. The only thing that changed was her willingness to believe it. Thank you, she whispered to the universe. To fate. To whatever force had brought Edwin into her life. What was that? Edwin asked sleepily. Nothing important, Anna said. Just grateful. Edwin's arms tightened around her. Me too. Years later, when Catherine and Edmund were grown, they would ask Anna for the secret to happiness. Anna would tell them, know your worth. Choose love over fear. Help others find their light, and never, ever give up on becoming who you were meant to be. It was simple advice, but it had changed everything. Anna had started as a servant girl. She had become a duchess, but most importantly, she had become herself, and that was the greatest transformation of all. The end. Emma lived in a house made of cold stone. Her family lived there too, but they never made it feel like home. Every morning her mother would look at her. Then she would frown. Why can't you be more like your sister? She would say. Emma's sister was named Grace. Grace had soft blonde hair. Grace had a sweet smile. Grace never spoke too loud. Grace never asked too many questions. But Emma was different. She had brown hair that would not stay neat. She had questions about everything. She laughed too loud. She spoke her mind. You're too much, her father would say. Then he would walk away. Emma would stand there, alone. Her heart would break a little more each day. Well, Grace got new dresses. Grace got kind words. Grace got hugs and smiles. Emma got sharp looks. Emma got cold silence. Emma got told to be quiet. She would go to her room. She would look in her small mirror. What's wrong with me? She would think. Why am I not enough? Kite. Then one day, everything changed. A man came to their door. He wore fine clothes. He had papers in his hand. Your debt must be paid, he said to her father. Emma watched from the stairs. Her father's face went white. Her mother started to cry. We don't have the money, her father said. Then we take what we agreed on, the man said. Because that night, Emma heard her parents talking. Their voices were low, but she could still hear. Grace is too good for this, her mother said. She deserves better. Then who? Her father asked. Emma, her mother said. Her voice was cold. She's been nothing but trouble. Maybe this will teach her. Emma felt her world break apart. Her own mother, her own father, they would trade her away, like she was nothing. The next morning her mother came to her room. Pack your things, she said. We're getting married. Married? Emma asked. To whom? A lord who lives far away, her mother said. Maybe he can fix what's wrong with you. Emma felt sick. But I don't want to get married. What you want doesn't matter, her mother said. This will save Grace from a terrible fate. At least you'll finally be useful. But Emma packed her few things. Her hands shook. Her heart felt empty. Grace came to say goodbye. She hugged Emma. She was crying. I'm sorry, Grace whispered. I wish things were different. It's not your fault, Emma said. But inside, she wondered, why was Grace worth saving? Why wasn't she? Choice. The cart came at dawn. Emma climbed inside. She looked back at her home one last time. Her mother stood at the door. She didn't wave. She didn't cry. She just watched Emma leave. As the cart rolled away, Emma felt smaller and smaller. She was alone now. Truly alone. She was going to marry a stranger. A man who probably didn't want her either. But maybe that was all she deserved. His name was James. Lord James of the Northern Lands. People in town would whisper about him. He keeps to himself, they would say. He never comes to parties, he never smiled. Some said he was mean. Some said he was proud. Some said he just didn't like people. But the truth was different. The truth was, James was broken inside. Years ago, James had a family. He had a mother who sang to him. He had a father who taught him to ride horses. He had a little sister who followed him everywhere. They lived in a big house. They were happy. They had everything they needed. Then came the war. James was away. He was learning to be a lord in another town. When he came back, his family was gone. Bad men had come. They wanted his father's land. They wanted his father's money. When his father said no, they killed them all. James found their bodies. His mother, his father, his sweet little sister. He held his sister's small hand. It was cold. She would never laugh again. She would never follow him around. She would never grow up. That day, James made a choice. He would never let anyone get close again. It hurt too much when they left. He built walls around his heart. He stayed alone. He was safe that way. Years passed. James lived quietly. He took care of his land. He was kind to his workers, but he never let anyone really know him. Then one day, a man came with a deal. "I have a daughter," the man said. "She needs a husband. You need a wife. We both win." James almost said no. He didn't want a wife. He didn't want love. Love meant pain. But then the man said something that changed James's mind. "She's not like other girls," the man said. "She's difficult. Her family doesn't know what to do with her." James saw the cruel look in the man's eyes. He knew that look. It was the same look the bad men had when they took his family. This girl, whoever she was in danger too. "I'll take her," James said. Not because he wanted a wife, but because he wanted to save her. He remembered his little sister. He couldn't save her. But maybe he could save this girl. Maybe he could give her what his family never got. Safety, peace, a chance to live. James didn't know what the girl looked like. He didn't care, pretty or plain. It didn't matter. What mattered was getting her away from people who saw her as difficult. What mattered was giving her a home where she wouldn't be hurt. James had money. He had land. He had power. But most of all, he had a gentle heart. Even if he kept it hidden, the girl was coming soon. He would be ready for her. He would keep her safe. Even if she never loved him back. Emma saw the big house first. It was made of gray stone. It had tall windows. It looked strong. It looked safe. But Emma was scared. Her hands were shaking. Her heart was beating fast. What if he was mean? What if he were cruel? What if he looked at her the way her family did? The cart stopped. Emma climbed out. Her legs felt weak. A man came out of the house. He was tall. He had dark hair. His clothes were simple but clean. This was James, her husband. Emma looked at the ground. She waited for harsh words. She waited for him to say she wasn't pretty enough. She waited for him to be angry. But the words never came. "You must be Emma," James said. His voice was quiet. It was kind. Emma looked up. His eyes were brown. They looked gentle. "Yes," she whispered. "I'm Emma." "You've had a long trip," James said. "You must be tired and hungry." Emma nodded. She was both of those things. "Come inside," James said. "Let me show you your home." Your home, not his home. Your home. No one had ever said that to Emma before. Inside, the house was warm. There was a fire in the big stone fireplace. There were soft chairs. There were books on shelves. It smelled like bread and herbs. It smelled nice. A woman came forward. She was older. She had kind eyes and gray hair. "This is Mary," James said. "She takes care of the house. She'll help you with anything you need." Mary smiled at Emma. "Welcome, my lady," she said. "I'm so glad you're here." My lady. Emma had never been called that before. James led Emma to a table. There was soup in a bowl. There was fresh bread. There was tea that smelled like flowers. "Please, eat," James said. "You must be hungry." Emma sat down. She picked up the spoon. Her hands were still shaking. James sat across from her. But he didn't stare. He didn't watch every bite. He just waited. "The soup is good," Emma said quietly. "Mary made it," James said. "She's the best cook in the north." Mary blushed and smiled. "Sasham." Emma ate slowly. She kept waiting for something bad to happen. For James to yell. For someone to tell her she was eating wrong. But nothing bad happened. James just sat there. Sometimes he would say something gentle. About the house. About the land. About how glad he was that she was safe. Safe. That word again. Coup. When Emma finished eating, James stood up. "Would you like to see your room?" he asked. "My room?" Emma asked. "Of course," James said. "You need your own space. Your own things." Emma followed James upstairs. Her heart was still beating fast. But now it was beating differently. Not scared. Something else. Hope? No. James opened a door. Inside was a beautiful room. There was a big bed with soft blankets. There was a window that looked out at gardens. There was a chair for reading. There was even a small desk. "This is yours," James said. "You can change anything you want. Add anything you need." Emma walked to the window. Outside, she could see flowers. She could see trees. She could see the sun setting behind hills. It was beautiful. It was peaceful. It was home. The sound. "James?" Emma said quietly. "Yes?" Emma turned around. She looked at his kind face. Thank you. James smiled. It was small, but it was real. No, he said. Thank you. For being here. For giving this place life again. Emma didn't understand what he meant, but she could hear something in his voice. Something sad. Something lonely. Maybe they could help each other. Emma woke up the next morning in her soft bed. For a moment she forgot where she was. Then she remembered. She was married now. She lived in this big house. With James. But what was she supposed to do? To send. Emma got dressed. She went downstairs. Mary was in the kitchen. She was making breakfast. Good morning, my lady, Mary said. Did you sleep well? Yes, Emma said. But what should I do now? Mary smiled. Whatever you want to do, she said. I don't understand, Emma said. This is your home now, Mary said. You're free to do as you please. Free. Emma had never been free before. Done. James came in from outside. His boots were muddy. His hands were dirty. Good morning, he said to Emma. I was checking on the animals. You have animals? Emma asked. Horses, cows, chickens. Would you like to see them? Emma nodded. She had always loved animals. But her mother said they were dirty. Her mother said ladies shouldn't go near them. But James was offering, maybe it was okay now. So James showed Emma around his land. There were fields of wheat. There were gardens full of vegetables. There were workers who smiled and waved. Everyone seemed happy. They all seemed to like you, Emma said. I try to treat them well, James said. Happy workers do better work. But more than that, they're good people. They deserve kindness. Emma thought about her old home. Her father was always angry with the workers. Her mother was always cold. But James was different. He knew everyone's name. He asked about their families. He cared. Lawn. They came to a garden full of herbs. Emma stopped. She knew some of these plants. My grandmother taught me about herbs, Emma said quietly. Before she died. Really? James asked. What did she teach you? Emma pointed to different plants. This one is good for headaches. This one helps you sleep. This one heals cuts. James listened. He didn't look bored. He looked interested. Would you like to take care of this garden? He asked. Emma's heart jumped. Could I? It's yours now, James said. All of this is yours. That afternoon, Emma worked in the herb garden. She pulled weeds. She watered plants. She remembered her grandmother's gentle hands. Mary came to check on her. You look happy, Mary said. Emma stopped. She was happy. For the first time in years, she was actually happy. I'd forgotten how good this feels, Emma said. Lord James will be pleased, Mary said. He's been hoping someone would love this garden again. What do you mean? Emma asked. Mary's eyes got soft. His mother loved this garden. She died when he was young. He's kept it alive all these years. But it needed a woman's touch. That night, Emma and James ate dinner together. Emma told him about the herbs, about what she remembered, about what she wanted to learn. James listened to every word. He asked questions. He made suggestions. There's a woman in town, he said. She knows more about healing herbs than anyone. Would you like to learn from her? You would let me do that? Emma asked. Let you, James said. Emma, you don't need my permission to learn, to grow, to become who you're meant to be. That. Emma felt tears in her eyes. Good tears. All her life, people had told her to be quiet, to be less, to hide who she was. But James wanted her to be more. He saw something in her that even she couldn't see. For the first time ever, Emma began to believe. Maybe she was worth something after all. Weeks passed. Emma's life began to change. Every morning she worked in the herb garden. The plants grew strong under her care. She remembered more of her grandmother's lessons. Mary taught her to cook. Not fancy food, but good food. Food that filled people up and made them smile. Emma learned to make bread. Her first loaves were hard as rocks, but James ate them anyway. He said they were getting better. Emma started visiting the town. At first she was scared. What if people stared? What if they whispered about her plain face? But something strange happened. People were nice. The baker's wife asked about her herbs. A mother asked if Emma had anything for her sick baby. An old man wanted help with his sore joints. They didn't care what Emma looked like. They cared about what she could do. Emma began to feel useful, important, needed. She made medicine for headaches. She grew vegetables that fed hungry families. She baked bread that brought people together. Her voice grew stronger. She spoke up in shops. She laughed with the women. She helped solve problems. People started calling her Lady Emma. not because she had to be called that, but because they respected her. One day, a little girl fell and cut her knee. She was crying. Her mother looked scared. Emma knelt down. She cleaned the cut. She put on a bandage made with healing herbs. "There," Emma said gently. "You're going to be fine." The little girl stopped crying. She hugged Emma tight. "Thank you, Lady Emma," she whispered. Emma's heart felt so full. This was what she was meant to do. Help people. Care for them. James watched all of this. He saw Emma grow stronger every day. He saw her smile more. He saw her stand taller. One evening, they walked through the gardens together. "You've changed," James said quietly. Emma looked at him. "Is that bad?" "No," James said. His voice was soft. "It's beautiful. You're becoming who you really are." Emma felt warm inside. "I feel different. Stronger. Like I matter." "You do matter," James said. "You always did. Your family just couldn't see it." That night, Emma looked at herself in her mirror. The same brown hair, the same plain face, but something was different. Her eyes looked brighter. Her smile looked real. She was the same person, but she was Emma. Not the girl nobody wanted. Just Emma. And Emma was enough. The next morning brought a surprise. A letter came. It was from Emma's mother. Emma's hands shook as she read it. "We're coming to visit," the letter said. "We want to see how you're doing in your new life." Emma felt cold. Her mother was coming. The woman who had traded her away. The woman who had never loved her. What would her mother think of the new Emma? Would she try to make Emma small again? "Dad." James saw Emma's face go pale. "What's wrong?" he asked. Emma showed him the letter. James read it. His face got hard. "They can't hurt you anymore," he said firmly. "This is your home now. You're safe here." But Emma wasn't sure. Her mother's words had power over her. They always had. Could the new Emma stand up to the old pain? She was about to find out. As the days passed, something beautiful began to happen. Emma and James started to really see each other. It began with small moments. Emma would bring James tea while he worked. He would stop and smile. They would talk about the day, about the people they'd helped, about small things that mattered. James would pick flowers for Emma's herb garden. Not fancy roses. Just simple flowers that grew wild. But they were picked with care, with thought. One evening it rained hard. Emma and James sat by the fire. They talked quietly. "Can I ask you something?" Emma said. "Of course," James said. "Why did you really marry me?" "The truth." James was quiet for a long time. Then he spoke. "Because I knew what it felt like to be thrown away," he said. "To be seen as less than you are." James told Emma about his family. About losing them. About the lonely years after. "I built walls," he said. "I thought they would keep me safe, but they just kept me empty." Emma listened. Her heart hurt for him. For the little boy who lost everyone he loved. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "Don't be sorry," James said. "You brought life back to this place, to me." Emma told James about her childhood. About always being second. About never being enough. "I used to think there was something wrong with me," she said. "There's nothing wrong with you," James said. His voice was firm. "You're kind. You're smart. You care about people. Those are gifts." Emma felt tears in her eyes. Good tears. "No one ever told me that before," she said. "Then they were blind," James said. Their hands were resting on the chair arms. Slowly, James reached over. He touched Emma's hand with his fingers. Emma didn't pull away. His touch was warm, gentle. They sat like that, hands touching, hearts opening. Neither one said anything. They didn't need to. Something was growing between them. Something real, something precious. The next morning Emma woke up feeling different, light, happy. She caught herself humming as she worked in the garden. Mary heard her and smiled. "You sound happy, my lady," Mary said. "I am happy," Emma realized. Really, truly happy. It had been so long since happiness felt real, since it felt like something she deserved. James came to find her in the garden. He had dirt on his clothes from working in the fields. "The workers want to thank you," he said. "Thank me? For what?" "Your bread fed Tom's family when money was short. Your herbs healed Sarah's baby. Your kindness made everyone feel valued." Emma felt proud. She had made a difference. She mattered to these people. "They want to have a celebration," James said. "In your honor." "Really?" Emma asked. "Really," James said. "Will you let them?" Emma nodded. For the first time in her life, people wanted to celebrate her. That evening, there was music in the great hall. The workers came with their families. They brought food to share. They brought smiles and laughter. Emma wore her best dress. It wasn't fancy, but she felt beautiful. James stood beside her. He looked proud, not of himself, of her. "Thank you, Lady Emma," Tom said. "You saved my family." "Thank you for the medicine," Sarah said. "My baby is strong now because of you." One by one, people thanked Emma. Each word made her feel more real, more worthy. Later, when everyone had gone home, Emma and James sat alone. "How do you feel?" James asked. "Like I found my place," Emma said. "Like I found myself." James took her hand. "And I found my heart again," he said quietly. Emma looked at him, really looked at him. His kind eyes, his gentle smile, the way he saw the best in everyone, especially in her. "James," she whispered. "Yes, I think I'm falling in love with you." "Fly." James's eyes got soft. "I know I'm falling in love with you," he said. They moved closer, slowly, carefully. Their first kiss was gentle, sweet, full of promise. When they pulled apart, Emma felt like her heart might burst with joy. She had found love. Real love. The kind that saw her truly and loved her anyway. But more than that, she had found herself, and she was wonderful. 3 days later, the carriage arrived. Emma heard it first. The sound of horses, the creak of wheels. Her stomach dropped. They were here. Her family was here. Then Emma watched from her window. Her mother stepped out first, still beautiful, still cold. Her father came next. He looked older, tired. And then Grace. Sweet, perfect Grace. Everything Emma had never been. Emma's hands started shaking. All her new confidence felt fragile, like it might break. James came to find her. He saw her pale face. "Remember who you are now," he said gently. "Remember what you've built here." Emma nodded. But inside, she felt small again, like the girl nobody wanted. They went downstairs together. James stayed close to Emma's side. "See?" Emma's mother looked around the great hall. At the fine furniture, at the warm fire, at the signs of wealth. "Well," she said, "this is better than I expected." Not hello, not how are you. Just judgment about the house. Emma felt the old familiar sting. "Mother," Emma said quietly. "Father." "Grace." Her father nodded. Grace smiled, but it looked sad. Her mother stared at Emma. "You look different." "Different how?" Emma asked. "I don't know," her mother said. "Bigger somehow. More. There." It wasn't a compliment. It was a concern. James stepped forward. "Welcome to our home," he said politely. Emma's mother looked James up and down. "So you're the one who took our problem off our hands." The words hit Emma like a slap. Problem. She was still just a problem to her mother. James's face went hard. "Emma is not a problem," he said. His voice was calm but firm. "She's a blessing." Emma's mother raised an eyebrow. "How? Interesting." They sat down to dinner. Mary had made a beautiful meal. The table was set with the best dishes. Emma's mother criticized everything. The food was too simple. The servants were too familiar. The house was too quiet. Emma felt herself shrinking with each word. Then Grace spoke. "Emma, you look happy," she said softly. Emma looked at her sister. Grace's eyes were sad. "Tired." "I am happy," Emma said. "Are you?" Grace's smile faltered. "Of course," she said, but her voice said something different. "But..." After dinner, Emma's mother wanted to speak with her alone. They went to Emma's sitting room. Her mother looked around with sharp eyes. "This is quite nice," she said. "You've done well for yourself." "Thank you," Emma said. Her mother sat down. "Now, let's talk about why we're really here." Emma waited. Her heart pounded. "Grace needs to marry," her mother said. "Someone with money. Someone important." "That's good for Grace," Emma said. "Yes, but..." Her mother paused. "The men Grace should marry, they want someone fresh. Someone who hasn't been used." Emma felt sick. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying we made a mistake," her mother said. "You should have stayed home. Grace should have married your husband." The words hit Emma like ice water. "You want to trade us back?" "Think about it," her mother said. "Your husband is rich. Grace would make him a better wife. And you could come home, where you belong." Emma stared at her mother. "Where do I belong?" "With us," her mother said. "Taking care of things, like you always did." "Need..." Emma felt the old chains wrapping around her. The old voice was saying she wasn't good enough, wasn't pretty enough, wasn't worth keeping. But then, something else rose up inside her. She thought about James. about his gentle hands and kind eye. She thought about the townspeople, about how they smiled when they saw her. She thought about her garden, her bread, her medicine, all the ways she helped. She thought about the woman she had become. No, Emma said quietly. What? Her mother asked. No, Emma said louder. I won't do it. Her mother's face went cold. Don't be foolish, Emma. This is the best thing for everyone. No, Emma said again. She stood up. It's the best thing for you, for Grace, not for me. Since when do you think about what's best for you? Her mother snapped. Since I learned that I matter, Emma said. Her voice was getting stronger. Since I learned that I'm worth something. So, her mother laughed. It was a cruel sound. I'm worth something? Emma, look at yourself. You're playing. You're loud. You're strange. That man doesn't really want you. He's just being kind. Each word was meant to cut, to make Emma small again. But Emma had changed. She had grown. She had learned to see herself through different eyes. You're wrong, Emma said. I am plain. But I'm also kind. I am loud. But I use my voice to help people. I am strange. But that makes me special, not broken. Her mother stood up. Her face was angry now. How dare you speak to me this way, she said. How dare you speak to me, the way you always have. Emma shot back. The room went silent. Emma had never talked back to her mother, never stood up for herself, never fought back. But she was fighting now, fighting for the life she had built, the love she had found, the person she had become. You will come home with us, her mother said. Her voice was like ice. You will do as you're told, like you always have. Emma looked at her mother, really looked at her. She saw the fear behind the anger. Her mother was scared, scared of losing control. No, Emma said one more time. I am home. This is where I belong, with someone who sees my worth, with people who value what I bring. Her mother's mask slipped. You ungrateful girl. After everything we've done for you. What have you done for me? Emma asked. You traded me away. You called me a problem. You never once told me I was enough. Dad. Because you're not enough, her mother screamed. The words hung in the air. Ugly. Cruel. True to who her mother really was. Emma felt the words try to cut her, but they bounced off. She was stronger now. She knew who she was. Maybe I'm not enough for you, Emma said calmly. But I'm enough for me, and I'm enough for James. That's all that matters. She walked to the door. You can stay the night, but tomorrow you leave, and you don't come back. Emma left her mother standing there, shocked, defeated. For the first time in her life, Emma had won. The next morning, Emma came down early. She wanted to face whatever came next with courage. She found James in his study. He was reading, but when he saw her face, he put the book down. How did it go with your mother? He asked. Emma told him everything. About the plan to trade her back, about the cruel words, about how she had finally stood up for herself. James listened. His face got darker with each detail. I'm proud of you, he said when she finished. Are you? Emma asked. Even though I was loud and rude, James stood up. He took her hands. You were strong, he said. You were brave. You were everything I fell in love with. To swap. But what if she's right? Emma whispered. What if you would be happier with someone like Grace? James cupped Emma's face gently. Look at me, he said. Emma looked into his eyes. I don't want someone like Grace, James said. I want you. Your laugh that fills this house with joy. Your hands that heal and help. Your heart that sees the best in everyone. Emma felt tears coming. Good tears. Grace is lovely, James continued. But she's not you, and you are exactly who I choose. Every day. Forever. They heard voices in the hall. Emma's family was awake. Are you ready? James asked. Emma took a deep breath. Yes, she said. I'm ready. They went to the dining room together. Emma's family was eating breakfast. The mood was cold. Emma sat down. She held her head high. Good morning, she said. Her father nodded. Grace smiled sadly. Her mother said nothing. We've decided, her mother said finally. You'll come home with us today. No, Emma said simply. I won't. You don't have a choice, her mother said. Yes, I do, Emma said. I'm a grown woman. I make my own choices now. Her mother's face got red. You belong to us. I belong to myself, Emma said, and I choose to stay here, with my husband. In my home. Her father spoke up. Emma, be reasonable. Think about Grace's future. I have thought about it, Emma said. Grace is beautiful. She's sweet. She'll find someone who loves her for who she is. Just like I did. But the money, her father started. Is not my problem, Emma finished. You made your choices. Deal with them yourself. Yeah, Grace had been quiet through all of this. Now she looked up. Emma's right, she said softly. Everyone stared at Grace. What? Her mother snapped. Emma's right, Grace said again, stronger this time. Look at her. She's happy. She's alive. I've never seen her like this. Grace, don't be foolish, her mother said. I'm not being foolish, Grace said. I'm being honest. We treated Emma badly. We threw her away. And look what happened. She found love. Real love. Grace turned to Emma. I'm sorry, she said. Tears were in her eyes. I'm so sorry for what we did to you. For what I let happen. Emma's heart softened. It's not your fault, Grace. Yes, it is, Grace said. I should have stood up for you. I should have protected you. Instead, I let them use you to save me. Emma reached across the table. She took Grace's hand. We were both trapped, Emma said gently. But we can choose different paths now. Their mother was furious. I will not sit here and listen to this nonsense. She stood up. Come, Grace, we're leaving. Now. Grace looked at her mother. Then at Emma. Then back at her mother. No, Grace said quietly. What did you say? Her mother asked. I said no, Grace repeated. I want to talk to Emma. Alone. About things. Their mother's face went white with rage. But she couldn't control Grace the way she used to control Emma. Grace was starting to find her own voice too. After their parents left the room, Grace and Emma sat together. I envy you, Grace said softly. Envy me? Emma asked. Why? Because you're free, Grace said. You broke away. You found yourself. I'm still trapped. Emma squeezed Grace's hand. You don't have to be trapped forever. It's different for me, Grace said. Everyone expects me to be perfect. Sweet, quiet. I don't know how to be anything else. Start small, Emma suggested. Say no to one thing. Then another. Find what makes you happy. Grace smiled. A real smile this time. You've changed so much. You're so strong now. I had help, Emma said. She looked at James, who was sitting quietly nearby. I had someone who believed in me. I want that too, Grace whispered. I want someone to love the real me, not just the pretty, perfect me. You'll find it, Emma said. But first you have to find yourself. Dad. Later that morning, Emma's family prepared to leave. Her father was quiet. Her mother was angry. But Grace looked different, more awake. Emma hugged each of them goodbye. Even her mother, though it was cold and brief. This isn't over, her mother whispered in Emma's ear. Yes, it is, Emma whispered back. As the carriage rolled away, Emma felt a weight lift from her shoulders. She had faced her past. She had stood up to the voices that said she wasn't enough. And she had won. James put his arm around her. How do you feel? He asked. Emma leaned into him. Free, she said. Finally, completely free. They stood there together, watching the carriage disappear. The girl nobody wanted was gone forever. In her place stood a woman who knew her worth. A woman who chose love over fear. A woman who had found her home. Emma was exactly where she belonged. Months passed. Emma's life grew richer every day. Her herb garden became famous throughout the region. People traveled from far towns to get her medicines. She helped children with fevers. She eased old people's pain. She saved lives. The townspeople didn't just respect Emma now. They loved her. They brought their troubles to her. They celebrated their joys with her. She had become the heart of the community.
Why?
Emma learned to read better. James taught her in the evenings by the fire. She read books about healing, about plants, about the world beyond their valley. Her mind grew as strong as her heart. She also learned to write. She kept notes about her medicines, about what worked, about new discovery. Mary said Emma was the smartest person she'd ever met. Book learning is fine, Mary said. But wisdom like yours, that's a gift. One day, a messenger came with news. There had been sickness in the next town. The local healer had died. People were suffering. We need help, the messenger said. We heard about Lady Emma, about her gifts. Emma looked at James. May I go? You don't need my permission, James said gently. But, yes. Go help them. I'm proud of you. Emma packed her medicines. She took her knowledge. She went to help strangers. For a week, she worked day and night. She saved dozens of lives. She taught local women about healing. When she came home, the whole town celebrated. They threw a feast in her honor. Our Lady Emma, they called her. The healer, the helper, the heart of our home. That night, Emma and James walked in their garden. The moon was full. The air smelled like flowers. I have something to tell you, Emma said. James stopped walking. What is it? Emma smiled. I'm with child. James's face lit up like sunrise. He picked Emma up and spun her around. Are you happy? Emma asked. I'm beyond happy, James said. I'm complete. They talked about their future, about the baby they would raise, about the love they would give their child. Our child will never doubt their worth, Emma said firmly. Never, James agreed. They'll know they're precious from the very first day. Emma put her hand on her belly. Inside, a new life was growing, a life that would know only love and acceptance. She thought about the girl she used to be, the one who felt worthless, who believed she was nobody's choice. That girl was still part of her, but she was transformed now, healed, whole. Dad. One evening a letter came. It was from Grace. Emma read it out loud to James. Dear Emma, it said, you were right. I had to find myself first. I broke my engagement to the man Mother chose. I'm learning to paint now. I'm learning to speak up. I'm learning to be. I met someone, a kind man, who loves my art, who loves my thoughts, who sees me as more than just pretty. Thank you for showing me what real love looks like, what real strength looks like. You saved me too, sister. Emma wiped happy tears from her eyes. Grace was free now too. See, the baby came in spring. A daughter with James's dark eyes and Emma's determined chin. They named her Hope. Emma held her daughter for the first time. This tiny, perfect person who would never doubt her value. You are loved, Emma whispered. You are wanted. You are exactly who you're supposed to be. Hope opened her eyes. She looked right at Emma, and Emma swore the baby smile. Years passed. Hope grew strong and smart and kind. She learned healing from her mother. She learned gentleness from her father. She never knew what it felt like to be unwanted, to be traded away, to be less than enough, because she was raised by parents who knew their worth, who chose love over fear, who built a home on acceptance and grace. Emma became known throughout the land, not as the plain girl nobody wanted, but as the healer who saved lives, the woman who brought hope to the hopeless. She wrote a book about healing herbs. She taught other women her skills. She made the world a little better every day. One day, when Hope was 5, Emma found her daughter playing with dolls. This one is sad, Hope said, pointing to a plain wooden doll. The other dolls don't want to play with her. Emma's heart squeezed. Why not? They say she's not pretty enough, Hope said. Emma sat down beside her daughter. What do you think? Hope picked up the plain doll. I think she's perfect, Hope said. She just needs someone to see it. Emma smiled. You're absolutely right. Hope made the other dolls welcome the plain one. She made them see how special she was inside. Emma watched her daughter play. Hope was learning the most important lesson of all, that everyone has worth, that love sees beyond the surface, that kindness can transform everything. And that night, Emma looked at herself in her mirror. She had lines around her eyes now, gray threads in her hair. She was older, different than the young girl who had arrived years ago. But she was beautiful now, beautiful with purpose, beautiful with love, beautiful with the confidence that came from knowing who she was. She was Emma, wife, mother, healer, helper. She was the woman who had learned her worth, who had claimed her place, who had chosen love over fear. She was exactly who she was meant to be, and she was enough. More than enough. She was wonderful. 10 years had passed since that scared girl arrived at James's door. Now Emma stood in the same spot. But everything was different. The house was full of life now. Hope ran through the halls with her friends. Laughter echoed from every room. Emma's healing center welcomed sick people every day. She had trained 12 other women to help. Together, they saved hundreds of lives each year. James had expanded his lands. But more than that, he had expanded his heart. He loved his wife and daughter more each day. Hope was 15 now, beautiful, like her Aunt Grace, but strong like her mother, smart like her father. She could heal a broken bone. She could calm a frightened child. She could stand up to anyone who tried to make others feel small. Mama, Hope said one day, tell me again about before, when you were my age. Emma told the story. About feeling worthless. About being traded away. About finding love and purpose. Hope listened with wide eyes. I can't imagine feeling that way, she said. Good, Emma said. That means I raised you right. At Con, Emma had received many honors over the years. The Queen herself had visited to learn about Emma's healing methods. You are a treasure to this kingdom, the Queen had said. But the honor Emma treasured most was simpler. It was the respect in people's eyes, the love in her family's hearts, the peace in her own soul. One day, a carriage arrived. Emma watched from her window. Her heart squeezed. Her mother stepped out, older now, smaller somehow. Emma hadn't seen her in 5 years. Not since her father's funeral. Emma went downstairs. James and Hope came with her. "Mother," Emma said politely. "Emma," her mother replied. She looked around the grand entrance hall, at the portraits of Emma and her family, at the signs of wealth and respect. "You've done well for yourself," her mother said. "Yes," Emma said simply. "I have." Her mother's eyes were different now, tired, sad. The sharp edges had worn away. "Grace sent me," her mother said quietly. "She's getting married next month, to a painter. She wants you there." Emma felt surprised. "She wants me at her wedding?" "She says you showed her what real love looks like," her mother said. "She wants to thank you, in front of everyone." Emma thought about Grace. Sweet Grace, who had found her own voice, who had chosen love over duty. "I'll come," Emma said. Her mother nodded. Then she hesitated. "Emma," she said quietly, May I speak with you? Alone?" They went to Emma's sitting room. The same room where they had fought years ago. Emma's mother sat down. She looked smaller in the big chair. "I came to apologize," she said. Emma was quiet. She waited. "I was wrong," her mother continued. "About everything. About you. About what matters. About, Her voice cracked on the last word. "I was so worried about money. About status. About what people thought. I forgot about hearts," I said. "I threw away my daughter," her mother whispered. "The one who was always trying to help. Always caring about others. Always seeing the good in people." Tears were running down her face now. "I was blind, cruel. I hurt the child who loved me most." Emma felt old pain stirring, but also something else. Understanding. "Why?" Emma asked gently. "Why were you so hard on me?" "Jade." Her mother was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke. "Because you reminded me of myself," she said. "When I was young, I was like you. Too loud. Too caring. Too much." Emma was surprised. "My mother crushed that out of me," her mother continued. "Made me small. Quiet. Perfect on the outside. Empty on the inside." She looked at Emma with sad eyes. "When I saw you being yourself, freely, loudly, completely, I was jealous and afraid. I thought the world would hurt you like it hurt me." "Cut. So you hurt me first," Emma said quietly. "Yes," her mother whispered. "I did. And I'm sorry. So sorry." Emma felt the apology settle into her heart. It didn't erase the pain, but it explained it. It gave it meaning. "I forgive you," Emma said. Her mother looked up. "How can you? After everything?" "Because holding on to anger only hurts me," Emma said. "And because I understand now. You were broken too." "Me too." That they sat together in healing silence. "You became everything I was too afraid to be," her mother said finally. "Strong, useful, loved for who you really are. It's not too late for you," Emma said gently. "You could still find that person inside you." Her mother shook her head. "I'm too old, too set in my ways." "Mama used to say it's never too late to grow," Emma said. She was right about that too. She had seen Hope came to find them. She looked at her grandmother with curious eyes. "Grandmama," Hope said politely. Emma's mother looked at Hope, really looked at her. "You're beautiful," she said softly. "Thank you," Hope said. "But I'm also smart, and kind, and helpful. Those things matter more than beautiful." Emma's mother blinked in surprise. "Yes," she said slowly. "Yes, they do." Hope had taught her grandmother something in 10 seconds. What Emma had tried to teach for years. That evening, Emma's mother stayed for dinner. She was quiet mostly, but she watched. She watched James listen to Emma's ideas about the healing center. She watched Hope solve a math problem that stumped the adults. She watched a family that valued minds and hearts more than faces and fortunes. "This is what love looks like," she said quietly. "Yes," Emma said. "It is." We studied. The next morning, Emma's mother prepared to leave. "Will you really come to Grace's wedding?" she asked. "Yes," Emma said. "I want to see her happy." "And can you forgive an old woman's mistakes?" Emma hugged her mother. It was awkward at first, then real. "We're family," Emma said. "Broken sometimes, but still family." Her mother cried. Then, years of regret and pain and lost time, but also hope. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe broken things could still heal. Grace's wedding was beautiful. Grace wore a simple white dress. Her painter husband looked at her like she held the sun in her hands. When Grace saw Emma, She ran to her. They hugged like the sisters they'd always been meant to be. You saved my life, Grace whispered. You saved your own, Emma whispered back. I just showed you it was possible. At the wedding feast, Grace stood up to speak. I want to thank my sister Emma, Grace said loudly. The whole room turned to look at Emma. Emma showed me that real love doesn't ask you to be smaller. It helps you become bigger, truer, more yourself. Grace raised her cup to Emma. The bravest woman I know. The best sister anyone could ask for. Everyone drank to Emma. Strangers celebrated her, honored her. Emma felt James take her hand, felt hope lean against her side. This was her family now. Not just blood family, but chosen family. Love family. On the way home, Hope fell asleep in the carriage. Emma and James sat close together, watching the countryside roll by. Do you ever think about that scared girl who came to my door? James asked softly. Every day, Emma said. I'm grateful to her. Grateful? She was brave enough to take the first step, Emma said. Even when she was terrified, even when she felt worthless. She said yes to a new life. Emma squeezed James's hand. And that yes led to everything. To you, to hope, to the life we built, to the people we've helped, to... James kissed Emma's forehead. I love you, he said. All of you. The scared girl and the strong woman. The past and the present. Everything. I love you too, Emma said. Thank you for seeing me. Really seeing me. Thank you for letting me, James said. They rode home in comfortable silence. A family complete. Hearts full. Lives rich with purpose and love. That night, Emma tucked Hope into bed. Mama, Hope said sleepily. Do you think I'll find love like you and Papa have? I know you will, Emma said. Because you know your worth. You know what real love looks like. How do I know? Hope asked. Because you've been surrounded by it your whole life. Emma said. Love that builds up instead of tearing down. Love that sees the best and believes in more. Hope smiled and closed her eyes. Emma kissed her daughter's forehead. Sweet dreams, my precious girl. Emma went to her own room. James was already there, reading by the fire. She looked around their bedroom. Their sanctuary. The place where two broken hearts had learned to beat as one. On the walls were pictures of their life together, their wedding day. Hope as a baby. Emma receiving honors for her healing work. Moments of joy captured and kept. This was her real treasure. Not gold or jewels, but love, purpose, family, home. Pursues. Emma changed into her nightclothes. She looked at herself in the mirror one last time. She saw a woman who had been traded away like unwanted goods, who had been called worthless, who had been made to feel small. But she also saw a woman who had found her strength, who had built a life of meaning, who had loved and been loved completely. She saw herself, finally truly herself, and she was beautiful. Emma climbed into bed beside James. He put down his book and pulled her close. What are you thinking about? He asked. How grateful I am, Emma said, for the pain that led to joy, for the rejection that led to acceptance, for the trade that led to treasure. Do you really mean that? James asked. Emma thought about it. All of it. The cruel words, the lonely nights, the feeling of being worthless, but also the herb garden, the healing center, Hope's laughter, James's love, the lives she'd saved, the woman she'd become. Yes, she said firmly. I mean it. Every hard thing led to something beautiful. God, I was traded for my sister's freedom, Emma said quietly. But I found something better than freedom. I found myself. I found my purpose. I found my home. James tightened his arms around her. I found my happiness, Emma continued. Real, deep, lasting happiness. The kind that comes from knowing who you are and being loved for. She snuggled closer to her husband, her partner, her best friend, the man who had seen her worth when no one else could. The girl nobody wanted became the woman everyone needed, Emma whispered. No, James said softly. The girl everyone was too blind to see became the woman who opened everyone's eyes. Emma smiled in the darkness. Tomorrow would bring new patients to heal, new problems to solve, new ways to help and love and grow. But tonight was perfect. She had found her place in the world. Not because someone gave it to her, but because she had claimed it, built it. She earned it with her own hands and heart. She was Emma. Healer, helper, wife, mother, friend. She was the woman who had been traded away and found her own happiness, and her happiness was complete. The end.